Bring value to me. I'll pay you for that value. Bring me deals all day long, and I will always pay you a commission no matter what. Anybody could easily represent Matt and I, or Tier 3 Capital, or anything that we're doing, receive commissions all day long on every single deal that they ever bring us. There will never be an instance where me as an investor tell you, the person who's bringing me good deals, I'm not willing to pay you a commission. You just have to bring good enough deals to where paying that commission makes sense and it's factored into the deal. I would solely work with investors. Number one, because they'll always pay for it. They understand investing into value. They understand paying for services. They understand paying for quality. They're more active. They're buying a lot of deals. And I would go out and I would find deals and I would bring those deals to investors. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Real Entrepreneur Podcast. Thank you for tuning in every single week. Last week we talked about focus and recorded that video on Monday of last week. Friday of last week we had some breaking news in the real estate industry, so we're going to be covering that today. The recent proposed NAR settlement, a part of the lawsuit that they were a part of, along with a few other brokerages, national brokerages that already settled. So we're going to be diving into that. Make sure you listen all the way through, whether you are an investor, a consumer, agent, broker. I'm going to be sharing my opinions and thoughts on what NAR proposed as part of their settlement and how this industry might change, especially for those who are licensed real estate agents. Again, thank you again for joining in. Make sure to like, share this video, subscribe, smash that subscribe button so that you can get all of the updates and notifications when we put videos out. All right, so the NAR settlement, it was proposed. It is not official yet. So here's my thoughts on the entire thing. I'm going to have to break it down in parts. So first, I do believe that NAR, and especially the MLSs and the boards, the way that they require membership if you want to be a part of the MLS, and the way that they, enforce the policy for the clear cooperation rule, which is where you can't market a property for sale, at least here in Texas, but I believe this is an NAR rule. You can't market a property for sale without first listing it on the MLS, and you have to withdraw it. It's kind of stupid, in my opinion, the way that they've always done this. And really, what I really dislike about NAR and the MLSs and the boards is being a brokerage where we're a part of a board. We're a part of a few boards, but we have a primary board, Austin Board of Realtors. They make it a requirement that every single one of the agents who is sponsored and brokered by Typekey Real Estate, they make it a requirement that they also join a board, or they pay the unreported licensee fee, which pays NAR and other dues. And so it's really like the mafia. They extort these fees. They force participants. They force agents who are part of a brokerage to be a part of it, if that broker is a part of a board. And I've always really disliked that. The first of the year, every year, I got a call. I get a long list of board dues that are owed from agents who have not paid yet, or might be unreported or not part of a board. And I've really always disliked that. I've always thought that it was, not fair to the agents who don't want to be a part of a board, who don't want to use the MLS, especially at a brokerage like TRE, where a lot of the agents are entrepreneurial, and while some might use the MLS here or there, a lot may not, and especially commercial agents who don't use the MLS, period. So I've always thought that it was a little, backwards, the way that NAR and the boards enforce participation for brokerages, and if you want to have access to the MLS, you have to pay these fees and dues, etc. So I'm really hoping that as part of this, we will be able to break that cycle of extortion from NAR and the local boards and MLSs. So that's just one thing for real estate professionals, is I hope that breaks up and we no longer have to or forced to join NAR and the boards. Now, second thing for the consumer, it is, again, like I said, the way that they force this clear cooperation rule, it can be construed that agents have been, not in a sense forcing, but you have to put a commission on the MLS for buyer agents. And the way that it's always been paid is that the seller pays the listing broker, whatever the total commission amount is, and then that listing broker agrees to pay a portion of that to the buyer broker, the buyer agent. So the sellers have been essentially paying for, both commissions out of the purchase price, going to the listing broker, and the listing broker agreeing to pay the buyer broker a percentage or a portion of that. Now, the commissions have always been negotiable. In buyer rep agreements, the buyer agrees to pay at least here in Texas with our agreements, the buyer agrees to pay the buyer brokerage or buyer broker a commission, regardless of, if the listing broker does not pay that commission, the buyer is responsible. And that is stated if it's written into the buyer representation agreements. Now, one part of the settlement is that buyer representation agreements are going to be now required, which is probably not a bad thing. Another part of the proposed settlement is that on the MLS and the listings, there's not going to be anywhere that advertises what the listing broker is offering to pay the buyer broker. And that's where a lot of this, comes from. And a lot of people are freaking out and wondering, how am I going to get paid as a buyer's agent if the seller is no longer going to pay for it? When all along, the seller could have not paid for a buyer's broker the entire time. It's not like this is a new thing necessarily. However, though, it has been kind of a standard, and, listing brokers have always traditionally offered some sort of compensation for the buyer broker and part of the total commission, which varies by state, which varies per, asset class, which varies per price point, etc. But typically about 6% for your standard single family home, 3% to the listing agent, listing broker, and 3% to the buyer's broker. Now, this has kind of artificially propped up, some buyer agents who maybe haven't, who I would not consider a real estate professional. If you get your real estate license and your cousin is going to buy a house, so far in the past and the way that things have been operating, not really having much real estate knowledge at all, or not really being a true real estate professional, it has been pretty easy to just go show a house, write the contract with help of your broker, and receive, 3% commission, right? There really wasn't a whole lot of work involved for types of agents who maybe were just doing one transaction like that or their first transaction. But now my hope is that it does get a little bit more competitive. It does get a little bit more difficult for people to make money in a sense, right? Like, it shouldn't be, that easy necessarily for someone who doesn't know what they're doing to go out and just have their brokerage, information on a contract and receive 3%. And now it's going to be much more difficult potentially, given that same agent is going to have to negotiate these types of things. They're going to have to negotiate their commission. They're going to have to ensure that they're going to get paid no matter what. And it's no longer just going to be offered necessarily by the listing broker. Now, sellers and listing brokers still can offer to pay commission to buyer brokers. That's not changing. It's just not going to be listed in the MLS and advertised as to what is being paid to the buyer's broker. But this is what we live for. I mean, me and Matt have never once ever been concerned about not making money in a real estate transaction, because we don't rely on the norms. We don't rely on easy ways of making money. We go out into the market, we add value, we find value, we bring opportunities ultimately to ourselves, because we're typically, at least just Matt and I as licensed professionals, have always just represented ourselves. Matt has had a long career of representing clients. He no longer does, directly represent clients. We pass all those leads and everything out to agents and the team here at TRE. But we've always gone out and found value and added value to whatever the transaction is. And that's one thing that's never going to go away. One of my theories here is that, and this is how I've always felt, and maybe it's just my personality type, but if I was a traditional agent and I was going out to just, represent clients and that's how I made a living, I would pretty much solely work with investors for a few reasons. Number one, investors are active, right? I don't want to, have a client that I'm representing and we only do one transaction every 3 to 5 years, right? I would rather have an investor where we're doing 3 to 5 transactions a month or every couple of months. Also, as an investor, I will always pay brokers, whether buyer or listing, a commission. Bring value to me, I'll pay you for that value. Bring me deals all day long, and I will always pay you a commission no matter what. Anybody could easily represent Matt and I or Tier 3 Capital or anything that we're doing and receive commissions all day long on every single deal that they ever bring us. There will never be an instance where me as an investor tell you, the person who's bringing me good deals, I'm not willing to pay you a commission. You just have to bring good enough deals to where paying that commission makes sense and it's factored into the deal. I would solely work with investors. Number one, because they'll always pay for it. They understand investing into value. They understand paying for services. They understand paying for, quality. They're more active. They're buying a lot of deals. And I would go out and I would find deals and I would bring those deals to investors. Now, I'm not talking about your first time home flipper or wholesalers or, there is, I think, a negative connotation with licensed realtors on the residential side and investors, and it's because they're working with the wrong people. I mean, you go to any Facebook investment group and everybody in there is an investor and everybody's got, investor on their bio and everybody has, whatever, real estate investor. That's what they claim to be when they're really not. I'd say that probably 80% of those people have never bought more than one deal. Probably majority of that have never bought one deal. A lot of them are just window shoppers. A lot of them might actually waste your time. And those are not the people that I would be searching for. I'm talking about real investors, active investors, people who have bought a lot of deals, people who are buying a lot of deals, people who are serious and closers. And I would solely go work with those people because you'll never go out of business. Also, here's the other thing. As the entrepreneur and everything we teach here at TRE, you will never go out of business if you are the entrepreneur agent. It doesn't matter what cycle, what market, what buyers and sellers are doing, what interest rates are at, where we're at in the real estate cycle. You will never go without making money because you're creative. You don't solely rely on commissions. You will represent clients. You will wholesale deals. You will hopefully buy deals. You'll partner with people. You'll negotiate seller finance deals, mortgage wrap deals, sub 2 deals. You'll go out into the marketplace and you will negotiate deals and you will always seize opportunity. And a portion of that opportunity will be a commission. Maybe it's a listing. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's that. But you will never go out into the marketplace and not be able to make money because there is always a way to make money as a true entrepreneur. And as a, host of the Real Entrepreneur podcast, all these new or this new proposed settlement by NAR is fucking exciting. To be very truthful with you, it's very exciting to me that an entire industry potentially is about to get shaken up. A lot of people who have been doing things the same way for many years, big brokerages that are hard to maneuver and pivot. A lot of people, agents, everything has been operating the same way for years, and it potentially is about to get shaken up. I'm also a big proponent of the free market, and if this allows the free market to operate a lot more efficiently, then that's great. And especially with NAR and these boards and the MLSs forcing participation and forcing dues if you want access to the MLS, or if you want to be an agent with a brokerage that's a part of a board, that's also really exciting to me, because I've really disliked the way that they force that. But as it's really exciting that all this is about to be shaken up. All that means is that for you real entrepreneurs out there who don't get sidetracked by headlines, who are not reliant upon one exit strategy, for those of you who are creative and are killers and know how to go out there and figure out a way to make money, this is the greatest opportunity that you've had in this industry as a licensed professional to go out there and take market share while everybody else tries to figure out what the hell to do. 99.9% of traditional real estate agents have zero clue how to structure a seller finance deal, how to buy a deal, how to analyze numbers for a deal, how to write up and negotiate a sub-2 deal or a mortgage wrap. They have zero clue how to run these numbers and how to do these things. And so if you are the real entrepreneur, I already know that you're not worried about this. It's everybody out there who doesn't know how to be creative, isn't confident in their abilities, and doesn't know how to go out into a scenario and seize the opportunity that's worried right now. And it's a lot of them. Over 1 million people right now who are licensed are probably trying to wonder, what the hell do I do now? I was listening to an interview this morning with the attorney for the plaintiff on this lawsuit, Michael Ketchum, I believe his name is, and he was on some news show with a Compass broker, and the Compass broker basically said, he was saying it kind of facetiously, but I believe that this is what people actually believe right now, is he said, well, if this is true, then I should just quit. And of course he was, half joking, but that's what a lot of people are thinking right now. And for those of us who get excited about this, for those of us who were already practicing the entrepreneur way, who are already creative, who've never once worried about how we're going to make money in this business, it's such a fascinating time to have all these people who are a part of this big machine and this big system now try and figure out what to do, when you can just pierce straight through that, run through it, and go seize more market share and more business, and honestly probably make more money than you ever have before, because now things are shaken up. When things get shaken up, when things get broken down, when things get broken apart and the norms change, there's tons of opportunity, and it's your job to go out there wherever you're at, whatever market you're in, and whatever you want to focus on, to go out there and seize those opportunities just like you always have. So, but also as the owner of this brokerage, this is the stuff that we've preached to all of our agents the entire time. No one has ever joined TRE and Type Q Real Estate because they wanted to be the best traditional real estate agent that they could be, right? Because that's not who we are. When we're talking to you about joining TRE, we tell you that we are not that place. We are not that brokerage. We're going to teach you how to build wealth. We're going to teach you how to buy deals. We're going to teach you how to wholesale. We're going to teach you how to structure seller finance deals. We're going to teach you how to be creative. We're going to teach you how to make money in every single way possible as a real estate professional. Most of these brokerages, they know these things, right? The top people at these brokerages and the people running the shows, they know that real estate ownership and being creative is the way to secure your future as a real estate professional. It's also the way that you seize the other 95% of the value from being a real estate professional, aside from the 5%, which is just commissions. And also, if you're just getting commissions, you ultimately just have a job. And a lot of you, if you are a real estate professional, you joined this profession and decided to get into this because you didn't want a job. You wanted to work for yourself. Well, if you don't have a system and a business and processes set up to where your system can run and churn and make money without you actually putting in the work, then you don't have a business and you have a job. And the moment that you stop putting in hours and you stop working is the moment that you stop getting paid. So that's what we teach you here at TRE. We teach you how to go out there and how to find value and how to make money in every aspect of real estate and how to truly build wealth for yourself and your family and not just receive commission. So, this is nothing new. It's exciting for us and it's exciting for me because we've never believed in the traditional route of doing real estate and only that route. We've believed in being creative. This is what we've taught, preached, and practiced for years. And now everybody else has to figure out what the hell they're going to do. So it's really exciting to recap. If I were you and I was a real entrepreneur out there who is only, focused on representing clients, go find investors, reach out to us. You could easily make hundreds of thousands of dollars with us as your only client and only bringing us deals. Imagine if you had 10 clients like that, right? Bring us deals, get paid, figure out how to go out and find value and add value to your clients. If your clients are investors, then they're going to understand paying for that value. They're going to understand paying for good deals. They will always pay you as a buyer, broker / agent to bring them good deals. So that'd be my recommendation, is work with investors, but real investors, closers, not window shoppers, not the people you're finding in the Facebook group most likely, but people who are out in the field getting deals done and doing business and growing. Find them, work with them, bring value to them, and you will always get paid. All that to say, there's a lot of... The settlement hasn't been approved yet by the judge. Today's Monday, March 18th. I think it's supposed to get approved this week, but there's a lot of changes coming in the industry. And if you're not one who can figure out how to be creative, and if you're not one who knows how to find and add value and go out into, the market and seize the opportunity, then I'd be worried too. But for those of you who are the real entrepreneurs, now's your time, and everybody around you and anybody you were previously competing with in some sort of way, the whole thing's about to be shaken up. So, we'll see what actually happens with the settlement, if it gets approved, what changes are coming. I hope all you guys out there who didn't want to be a part of a board or pay NAR dues no longer have to. I hope that it's a much more free market, and you can go out there and make the most out of everything that you want to. So we'll keep you updated as we do learn more information. But right now it's really exciting, and who knows what it's about to look like. But one thing I do know is that the real entrepreneurs are going to go out there and seize it. So thank you for joining today. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.